Could be different agendas taking place at different times, but just want to keep you updated on where things are engagement-wise and other things that are happening throughout our life together as Bethany. Today, some of you know we went through some staff transitions over spring and summer and kind of realigned where the best gifts of some of the staff line up and what they're doing as a part of their work and ministry here together. And Pastor Nate, I'm going to keep vamping a little bit. Pastor Nate and I worked together earlier about getting an email to let you know some of the focus areas where our staff are. And then as a part of that, we also looked at how do we introduce the staff to a wider constituency if people don't dive into the email all the time. That was really helpful as we went into our fall programming. And then Pastor Nate's been hard at work trying to create just what would be the appropriate sense of how it is that we present Bethany to the world. And so part of what he has done when it finally pops up here...
Worked before church.
It did, didn't it? Yeah. Input was switched. Oh. We see it here. So, do you want to introduce it for us, Pastor Nate?
There we go. Hopefully it comes through. And I hope that it's got sound, because the sound is the best part. Oh, it's... Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I regularly have to help Pastor Nate with technology.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. You're going to want to see this. This will be a fun, well, here's the thing. Here's what I love about working at Bethany is that we do really serious work and we don't take ourselves too seriously. And I think that really matters. So as we were thinking about a fun way to introduce you to the staff, and we'll put this on the website and on social media afterwards, but this is the debut. Does anyone watch Full House back in the day? Right? Full House? And in the 90s and 80s, there was always these awesome opening credits for all of your favorite sitcoms. That's what Bethany needs. So without further ado, the opening credits.
You're on Chester Church.
Hang on. So much fun putting that together. And it'll live on the website. You can watch it more closely.
You can wear that so that way it picks up.
And is it even on? Oh, look at that. Fancy. Yeah, and just it helps kind of lay out. You've seen it all in different. Yeah, you liked it, right, Jack? Look at that. We don't need to take ourselves too seriously. We'll put it on the website. We'll put it on social media. You can share it with family and friends. Just a fun way to introduce our staff at Bethany. Did you have anything? Do I go right into my other part now?
I think so. That makes the most sense, doesn't it?
All right. Stand by. I'm going to need Pastor Gary to help me with some technology once again. All right. So the other piece that we just want to make sure you're aware of, you've heard a lot about the Bethany app. Who has downloaded?
I was talking about the update on the confirmation youth and adult.
Oh,
as part of staff.
that makes more sense, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
does.
Okay, that's more connected to staff. There's a lot of things I have to do today. So in terms of, that lays out what our staff looks like, the ways that some things have been sort of reorganized and restructured. But in particular, the part you're wondering about is who is leading confirmation, youth, and young adult ministries. During the fall at the moment, I have picked that up and have really elicited some help from a number of different Bethany members to help make that happen. We have had a great crew on Wednesday nights for our high school group, and I've gotten a lot of help from Scott Hamilton, Matt Payne, Tori Pluchek, and Lauren Tu, who are helping me out in the high school space. Then in the confirmation space, also we had 37 people register for confirmation, which is more than last year, which is just great. Doesn't mean I've seen them all in the room on Wednesday night, but they're all registered and they come in and out. And so I've been primarily organizing all that, but have had a lot of help. Pastor Gary's taught some classes. I've taught some classes. Garth Englund III taught a class. Mark Lacey, I haven't seen him. He just taught a class this last Wednesday, and we've got more people coming too. So kind of a fun way too for our confirmands to get to know their teachers. The other part that I'm really proud of, that I invite you to pay attention to, is that we have tried to up the ante for our confirmation students. They have to do sermon notes now, so you'll see them furiously scribbling their sermon notes. And they have an expectation that they need to help in worship on a regular basis. And so one of the fun things that we developed is we have our service streak that they're really into. And so it's to see, how many consecutive weeks can we go with at least one confirmand volunteering and serving in worship? So we are 5 weeks in. That's what our streak is currently at, and they are excited to keep it going. So if you see confirmands helping in worship, yes, please give them your praise and your appreciation. I'm so proud of them for stepping up on that way. Yep, they've been greeters. Yeah, greeters, ushers, communion assistants, and we had a crucifer this morning. So with all of that, we are making it work, and it's been really, really good. Like a very successful start to the fall for youth ministry. I should mention too, we had a young adult lunch last week after worship, and that'll probably become a pretty regular occurrence from what we heard from the 10 young adults who joined me for lunch last week. So great, yeah, right? Really exciting things to see. With all that, we have been diligently in the hiring process. We have now interviewed 5 candidates for the new position, the youth young adult position, and we do have one individual who will be coming for an on-site visit next week. They'll be teaching part of confirmation class. They'll have a chance to connect with our high school youth who have already come up with a ton of questions they want to ask this individual. And this person will be spending 3 days with us, so also having some time around. But we're hopeful on that. Not ready to announce a offer being given just yet, but just know that that is well underway and hoping to get someone in place soon. Any questions for me? I gave you a lot of details there, just about where youth ministry stands, hiring process, etc. Yes?
On the confirmation students, I know that we have 2 other churches participating in ours. How many are ours?
Yeah, great question. So this year, I believe, in confirmation, I'm trying to think if there are, I believe there are just 2 from a different church. So but with all of that, one of the churches that we were partnering with is not partnering with us again this year, and that's totally okay. They're doing their own thing. There's a number of reasons for that. And then the other church, Epiphany Lutheran Church, that we've been partnering with, some of their students are still involved, but I believe only 2 in confirmation at the moment. Another one of them will be confirmed with us in a couple of weeks as a 9th grader. Yeah, good question.
How many confirmands?
12. 12 confirmands this year, so that'll be a nice long service for y'all. You've been warned. Yeah. Other questions? Thank you. I'll turn it over because they've heard enough from me.
Oh, here, I'll take the mic back too.
And then I'll get this set up with time notes.
And I do just want to I have to take these off because I can't read with them on. I do want to let you know about a little bit of just the state of the church, where we are engagement-wise and so forth as a part of that. And so the stats, just as we're looking at, we broke out our program year and our summer schedule, because some of you know from Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend, we hit a summer schedule, but then program year, when we're at 2 worship services, things tend to change a little bit. So where we are going into this year, realizing that January and February tend not to be the banner times for attendance, just because of between ski season, traveling, and all of that. But so far this year, our program year average attendance is 156 at 8:30 and 240 at 10 o'clock. So all we need is 4 more people to break the 400 barrier on that, which probably 8:30 today will not have done the trick. But if we just like pray, we can count this as another worship service, and we'll bump that number right over for everybody. But wanted to give you that. Over the summer, as we went to one worship service, I will tell you that anecdotally, we received a lot of really good comments. People liked being all together. The fellowship afterward was wonderful. There were some Sundays where people were staying, and as staff, we were around saying, are they ever going to leave? But but it really was a delight seeing how much people enjoyed being together through the summer. Our average summer attendance was a 319, so just under 320 on that, which was really good. The people appreciated the really full room of singing and everything that happened as a part of that. So that's been good news for what we see attendance-wise. What is not reflected in any of these numbers is that most Sundays we have about 150 views of worship on different live stream platforms. So between YouTube and Subsplash, those who engage through our website, there are some weeks we're over 200. I think that's probably the Sundays they announce that I'm preaching. We're probably there. And other weeks lower.
Other weeks lower.
But we've been really pleased. Josh and I were just talking this week about realizing how stable and how those numbers are, and that we're going to start making some inroads with what happens online. And we are pleased to know when people come and say, you know, oh, I was online last week, whether you were traveling or not feeling well, or you hate animals, or whatever it was that prevented you from being on site. But we really do appreciate knowing that, and the numbers are bearing out that is a vibrant worshiping community that Bethany is engaging right now. And I would say the other thing we would look at is just as fall engagement in general. Virtually every Wednesday night, we're serving about 120 meals, and that doesn't include everybody who's on campus, but we've seen increased numbers through the young adults group that meets on Wednesdays, through our children's numbers are all up, the adult Bible study class on Wednesday night. All of those numbers are increased from last year. So we are delighted in the engagement that's happening and in the ways we've been able to add some things into our ministry schedule weekly. And we hope those will continue. And I've been happy that Werner Booz and Mark Brewer are partnering with me and teaching some adult ed as we go along this summer, or through this program year. So those have been very exciting opportunities for us, and we're looking for them to continue in really vibrant ways as well. Any questions about any of that? It's just kind of data, so yeah. And then I think, where did I put my list? Are we doing a financial update?
I believe so.
I think that might be next. Aaron, do you want to come forward and, do you have something to put up here for that, Josh, or is Aaron just going to verbalize it?
We can see what it looks like.
We'll see what it looks like, okay. And do you have it in front of you?
I do.
Okay.
Morning. Good to see everyone. I'm going to give a brief overview of the financial piece here. Josh is going to try to get up here. We're going to try to make it as small as possible so you can squint and really see it. I think what you're going to see up here shortly is contributions. They're slightly above where the expectation was, a couple percentage points above where we expected to be. Expenses right in line, just slightly higher than we had expected them to be. So all in all, an okay start to the year. When you compare this to a year ago, I think we can make it a little smaller, maybe in two. Here we go. Top lines, contributions.
These will start appearing in the email blast and in the bulletins on Sunday too, just so you know.
Yep. So contributions slightly above expectations, expenses right in line, maybe just a hair above that. Then you see this big daunting gain loss. That's not unexpected for Q1. Q1s are usually our slowest giving time of the year. When you compare this to last year, contributions are up 5%, expenses are down 6%. So I think that's at least gives me some optimism that we're on the right path and we're in a better spot than we were Q1 of last year. I think the hope is that contributions continue to gain traction as we go throughout the year. Budgeting wise this year, there's about a 10% haircut versus last year, so we tried to right size that budget and put it more in line. So I think there's the message is after Q1 we're in an okay spot. So we're going to need giving to continue and strengthen as we go into our Q2 and Q3, which are typically our strongest quarters of giving.
Aaron, I just want to say from someone who doesn't have the financial means that a lot of people that belong to Bethany do. I don't know if you do the grocery shopping at your house or not, but man, have I noticed, a steady increase in milk of all things. Milk is all of a sudden. So I just want you to keep that in mind. I mean, yeah, we want the giving to stay where it is or get better, but it's hard because just the cost of living here in this gorgeous place getting more and more expensive.
Point taken, point well made.
Can you say anything about maybe the trends of like the number of family units that are making donations? Maybe a trend over.
Do you guys have any?
We didn't run those numbers for this meeting. We can do that for our next one. Yeah.
Great question though.
I'd also like to point out that our staff was not given a cost of living raise this year. And should there come a point where we do have an excess, I would recommend that they have groceries to buy too. So.
Yeah, I think what the plan for that is to kind of analyze things after we get through Q2 and see where we are, because I think that's on Gary's mind as well as everyone else's mind to treat the staff well.
Those contributions, is that just blanketed, whether they gave for building usage, whether they gave for a meal on Wednesday, whether they give on Sunday morning? Is that just everything blanketed together?
It is right now, yeah. It is because the other part of that is that the expenses as well.
Yeah.
We do have some things that will have money come in, like our summer camps.
Right.
Money will come in and money will go out. Some of that's not actually budgeted because it's in and out, so we showed it all here just so that it made it look even from what we expected.
Do we expect like Wednesday night meal contribution, is that considered another amount for what we pay to get the food and what we hope people will give?
Yeah, if we break even on our food servery, Wednesdays, Sundays and all that, that's kind of how we arrange it, yeah.
How many, do you have any numbers
I think generally speaking, it's always a little bit of a challenge gauging when contributions are going to come in, and so there's some cyclicality, but there's also some just randomness. So I think that it's a challenge, just trying to budget where those are going to come in. You look at the annual estimation process. We only get, 30% people, something like 30% of the congregation puts in a commitment at that point in time. So it's always a challenge trying to figure out and kind of guesstimate where we're going to be.
The contributions, does it include the concerts that come here? So we are the venue for concerts, and what the different, does that money go into contributions?
That the contributions is just showing just giving from the congregation. So that does not cover the outside income.
So where does that ultimately fall in our accounting?
Here, I'll help. Yeah, and Josh, help me out if I have this. Some of that will play out because we do have an off-budget scenario that also works, because some of the expenses of that come off budget too. So what we try to do as much as we can, if there are contributions that come in, but they pay for budgeted expenses, we'll do our best to show them in that. Other things will come in more as an in-out, that money might come in, but it's for specific purchases for something, and those, it's not a perfect science, but we do work at it to make it work out so that the numbers tell as complete a story as we can without showing you the entire accounting spreadsheet.
And have we made an increase in those facility usage, cost of living, like Michelle said, have we
Yeah.
done an increase?
Over the
Is
past
this
3
cheaper
years.
space to use?
Yeah, over the
Yes,
past 3
versus-
years, it's been continued growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as more
Parking lots
groups.
alone. The
Yeah.
fact that people can come to an event here and not pay to park is so significant in the Denver metro area.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about when you go to a concert, think about when you go to a speaker, everywhere else. That's why when I was planning events, we always came and asked Bethany if we could do it, because that was a gift.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah, it
glad you
certainly
heard
is.
we've increased what we charge.
Right.
Yeah, well.
It is. Yeah. And even with that, we have more groups using Bethany this year than did last year. And we continue to get more and more requests. We can't fulfill all of them just because sometimes they ask for time frames. You know, if they ask for a meeting every Wednesday night of 50 people, we're like, nope, we are full to capacity on Wednesday nights already, those kinds of things.
It's been a long time since I was in council, but we used to get money from the cell towers up here.
Yeah, we still do. We have, there used to be 2 companies that we had with the cell towers up. We're down to 1. One of them, when they went to 5G, their equipment wasn't up to it, so they took it down. So, but we still have some of that coming in. Pardon?
Is that part of the contribution income as well?
You'll have to remind me. Well, that comes in usually once a year, and so it wouldn't show up in this one anyway.
Is that much in it?
Yeah. Good, so thank you. I'm gonna, also, Jeff, did you wanna talk at this point?
Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense on the financial thing. Yeah, come on up.
I think what I heard loud and clear though is we'll have Nate outside afterwards being the parking attendant collecting money, so.
Give me that chance.
Get your confirmation students out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get that 3 going.
Think of on Easter Sunday, what you could pay if you would reserve spots. Well, that should be what people would pay for a reserved spot.
So we're gonna put one up for bid. What's the opening bid? No? All right, we'll come up with some additional ideas.
My grandfather's elementary school has that.
Yes, that's correct. A lot of the schools have. That's right. All
In
right.
today's world, we just gotta be thinking differently than we've thought for the last
Absolutely.
20 years about
Absolutely.
what this facility costs us and what it is worth when people come here to use it.
Correct.
And they will pay the fees, because it will be cheaper than anywhere else.
So that's a great transition into the next topic. So obviously you got a quick financial update on terms of where we are from an operational perspective. But as you know, when you look at the size of this facility and this campus, which Kevin is getting intimately familiar with, if he wasn't already, it costs a lot of money to maintain this place. and none of that is being reflected in these dollars, okay? So, one of the things we have been having discussions about is another capital campaign here at Bethany. And so we are currently in the process of putting together a group of individuals from Bethany that are gonna help to serve and to help lead that effort here at Bethany. We're currently looking at the possibilities, working with an outside consultant to get better ideas and structure around what that might look like. We've also been putting together a list of needs at this campus. That list, as you can imagine, is pretty lengthy, and we're trying to then prioritize what those needs are. Once we prioritize, we're going to put some cost estimates to it. And once we put all that together and we further evaluate timing and the needs and what that might look like, we're going to evaluate with the possibility of coming back in January with an official capital campaign. And so, as you think about it, and you look at this list of needs around this church, I walked earlier with Nick today, and boy, you look around here, and there's some areas that really need some TLC. And so just keep that in mind for your financial planning over the next, call it 12, 24, 36 months, because we will be coming back to the congregation should we feel as though it's necessary for a capital campaign. So I wanted to give you a quick heads up about that. So,
deciding the priorities?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Who is deciding the priorities?
Yeah, great question. So who's deciding priorities? We have a list that's put together. We have gone through it at Executive Council, and we just introduced it to the Ministry Council 2 weeks ago when we met. And we've gotten their feedback as well in terms of trying to get a better idea of what that looks like. Staff will obviously have an input as well.
The congregation won't have input, except through the council.
They will, the
I would
campaign
say-
team will also look at it, which is a very wide cross-section of congregation.
Is there something specific you want us to
No.
highlight?
Oh,
Give me your top three, Michelle.
but there'll
Give
be,
us some thought.
there'll be at least 50 people, probably closer to 60, 75 people who will weigh in on it. Yeah.
And if you're interested in having more of an input, let us know. We could always use some good people with some good energy on that campaign.
At this stage, is it mostly facilities, Jeff?
I would say 80 to 90% facilities. And as you know, we have to be looking at where we want to invest some dollars for the ministry of this church. If you've been in any of the council meetings or talked to any of us, we're really focusing on the youth. And we've got to be making some investments in areas that are going to help drive that part of our ministry. And I know these individuals love to hear that conversation, but we have a lot of needs, really a lot of needs. Paula?
And I see in some cases here, so 40 years ago when we were doing rebuild and faith, remember that, the church, we decided to join the church burned down. I thought that was right anyway. So, I mean, 40 years, this place has been hard to put away that back. So I think we got to refurb in faith. You know, we rebuild in faith, we got to refurb in faith, and then move on to the future.
Look at that marketing campaign.
You know,
there.
could you tell she's from Montana? Ridden hard and put away wet. That's just perfect. So, 40 years, the main sanctuary, the offices, and then obviously the back space goes well before that, right? And then the space we're in today, plus the downstairs education space, we built, I think in 2000, 2001, somewhere in that vicinity. So, anyways, you're right. It's in need of a facelift in many areas. And so anyways, we're putting together some content, some information, and hopefully be back to the congregation, as we said, probably after we get through the holidays, maybe January is what we're targeting. Okay? On the operational side, as Aaron so politely and tried to keep calm, we could always use more giving. And I also understand what you're saying, Michelle. As you guys all know, last year we finished with we had a real hard push to cover the deficit the church was running up through June 30th last year. And thank you to all who responded. It was a great response to cover that deficit. But as you see these numbers, we're still running a deficit this year. And I understand there's cyclicality in the giving, but we just got to be mindful of it. We want to make sure you all see it in a real-time basis, which is why we will be seeing it in the bulletin and at these town halls. Just make sure you guys are kept up to date and informed. Okay. Anything else? Anything else you want to touch on? I just have one other thing. You got a minute, Kevin?
Young man.
Yeah, maybe grab the mic, Kevin, thanks, Sean.
Perfect. Well, this, now that we're into October, wanted to take a moment to recognize a very special thing that happens in the church every October, and that is Pastor's Appreciation Month. So I would like to ask the 4 members of Bethany's pastoral and pastoral care team to come up here, and then we're going to share whatever thoughts you guys would like. No, but go ahead. Come on up here so we can thank you. We know that this team does a lot for us publicly, and we know that they do a lot for us personally, but what they do behind the scenes, probably all of us have had moments in our lives that we didn't know how we were going to get through, whether it was a family member in a hospital or a death in the family. And these are the people that really bring that structure and that hope and that care to us. So during the month of October, today specifically is Pastor Appreciation Day. So we just want to thank you guys for all you do on behalf of Bethany. Encourage all of us this month, take a time to write a note, say an encouraging word of thanks, and just there can be times, especially leading up to the holidays, when it's all things on deck for December 24th already. We've already had a lot of meetings. They've already had a lot of meetings around that, just to get that encouragement that we see what you guys are doing, we appreciate what you're doing, and we love that you're here with us at Bethany. So thank you.
All right, one last thing. This is just your quick commercial for the Bethany app. Who's downloaded it? Oh, good job. Okay, we are at 524 downloads.
Right.
My goal was 400. Jeff Finnan's goal was 1,000. So a long way to go. I just want to show you real quick some of the, and just really quickly, because we promised we'd get you out of here by noon. Sometimes it lets you go, sometimes it doesn't.
Question.
Please.
Is there any chance we can get the NRSV translation?
We are working on it. Yeah, thank you for that. That is my biggest critique of it as well, is that it does not have the NRSV at the moment, but we put in a request for it many times. Thank you. So just so you know what's available on the app, if you were thinking like, oh, I haven't downloaded it yet, I don't know if I really need it. So first off, upcoming events. We put all the upcoming events in here. There's lots more as well. There's also this events tab down at the bottom where you can kind of look by section. So a great place to see what's happening, when is that event taking place. The Bethany 365 is a daily email. Do some of you get that? Yeah? Oh, hey, thank you. I feel like I'm shouting into the abyss a lot of the time, so that's great. But you can also, it also appears on the app every single day if you want to just pull it up that way rather than in your email. They're all right there, and then you can look through, if you go to the bottom, right? Like, look at all the different topics that have been covered that you could just look. Anyways, we can go into that later. Also, links to worship. So if the live stream always starts right here. We've got a worship service in 6 days. Gary, better get on that. But yeah, this is where the live stream can show up, and then you can also look at previous services there. Choir anthems. This is my favorite part, is if you just need good music to listen to, we record and we post all of the different choir anthems that come through. I haven't yet done the soloists, unfortunately, because I don't know where to put them all, but all of the different choir, right? Like, what's the chancel choir done lately? Well, quite a bit. And you can listen to any of them right there, recordings from our worship service. We've got our Carol on Bell Choir, Sounds of Praise. Good job this morning. Yours is not up yet, but it'll be up soon. And I put the bluegrass group in there too. Yes. If you want to sign up to serve and help out in different ways, there's an easy link right there. It's also obviously on our website, but if you want to sign up to be an usher, communion assistant, etc. And then the Bethany store. Did you put that on there? I didn't put that on there. So yeah, if you wanted to buy mugs or books or what else is in there?
Just
Mugs and books at the moment. There might be other stuff too, who knows? The other piece to just let you know, so down here is literally the whole Bible, okay? It's in NIV at the moment, much to Scott's chagrin, and we're working on, they just haven't put out the NRSV yet. But I think my favorite part is you're going along and reading the Bible. All right, I'm reading John 3 here. If there is any media uploaded to the app that Bethany created, and that is also a part of that section of the Bible, it all files right here. So we can look. Here's a sermon. Bishop Megan was here and she preached on John 3. It looks like I preached a stewardship sermon back in February on John 3. And Pastor Gary preached on March 10th from John 3. So just to give you an idea, as you're reading along, if any media that we've posted, if I did a podcast that was focused on a particular passage, it all files through there. So I think that that's super cool, just as you're doing your own devotional reading, and then you can see what your church might have to say about that section. Additionally, you see right down here, it says plan. There is a Read the Bible in a Year plan, and it's all uploaded for you there if you wanted to follow along with that. If you wanted to give to Bethany, that's all in the app right there too, including all the different funds that you can access. And then the actual media button includes all sorts of other media that you can look for. So you can sort by speaker. Oh, let's see if Pastor Gary's ever said anything good. Look at all of Pastor Gary's stuff right there, if you want to go there. The Bethany podcast, I put out episodes every Tuesday, so there's always a new episode on Tuesdays that gets uploaded right here, and you can go back and look at old ones as well. And additional resources, if you wanted to learn about Lutheranism, here's 6 videos that I've made that'll give you all the details about Lutheranism you might want to hear. Our sermons on spiritual practices, as well as some other videos I've created. Bedtime Bible stories. If you just need to fall asleep at night, these are scripture meditations for kids or adults, just like poetic, there you go, as well as some other scripture meditations, just if you're looking for some devotional content. So there you go. There's a lot there. I'm going quick on it, but there's a lot there. More to be added. Do you have a suggestion or comment? Yeah. Martin Luther's Small Catechism. It'll be up tomorrow. I'm on it. That's a great suggestion. It's a great suggestion. I'll find a place to put it. That's a great suggestion. Yeah, and please let us know. We're continually exploring the features of all this. Question?
When you
Sorry.
drop NRSV in there, is it going to be NRSV UE?
I would imagine that's the only thing they're actually making available now.
Okay.
So that will probably be, those of you who don't know, the new NRSV was updated about 6 months ago with more common language and taking out language that might have been common 20 years ago and is no longer. But that is the newest addition to the NRSV, and it's the only one they're actually releasing now, so I would assume that would be the one that would make its way to the app.
Would you have other options too, like if you wanted to look at it from a comparative standpoint?
Yeah, these are the ones that they currently have preloaded, and we just keep requesting for them to add NRSV to that list.
Okay.
Other questions? Yeah,
This isn't about the app.
that's fine.
I've heard a rumor that they're gonna dismantle the church library. Is that true? And what's gonna happen with the books?
I don't know anything about that, so I don't know who you get your information from. Did you?
It's already on.
So anybody watching the recording, we had a question on the church library. We probably have, the library is regularly used. I would say over the last 3 years, at least 6 books have been checked out. And so part of what we do realize is we have a huge cadre of books that just aren't helpful for people. One of the considerations as we look at the campaign will be for that to become a smart classroom, so that when you realize our online audience and people who can't be here for evening Bible studies, that could take place in that space. As a part of that, the room will get rearranged to make use for that, and books that we know just simply aren't current, are no longer helpful for people, will probably be called out. There'll probably be at least a few shelves left, some that'll end up in there, and some that might continue in our fellowship hall, where we have a bookcase that Pastor Nate put out of what Bethany is reading. So things we've used for studies and all of that what we want to do is get into people's hands ideas of what's current and what we're actually using, and not simply store books for the next 50 years. So, yeah, Marie.
Unrelated question, but has a new office site for the Rocky Mountains been determined yet?
Yes, and I think...
I don't know if it's public.
I don't know. I think it is.
I didn't hear the question.
Oh, the Rocky Mountain Synod is going to be moving their offices from the old Lutheran Center to a new spot. I don't know if it's public. Somebody would say it's not a secret, but it hasn't been announced through a public channel of the entity that will be hosting the offices of the Rocky Mountain Synod. So I'd hate for Bethany, it is not going to be, but
It's not us.
But we know there will be times when the Synod office won't have the same kind of meeting space. Oh, here's the other exciting news we should tell you, and then we gotta let you go, is that Bethany Lutheran Church will be the host of the Rocky Mountain Synod Assembly at the end of April, which means somewhere around 400 to 500 people from a 5-state area will all be at Bethany, and we will be the hosts for that annual assembly that happens. So we will be looking for volunteers during that 3-day opportunity, but this will be a very exciting time for us to have on our campus people from congregations throughout. And if you don't know, that includes Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and the El Paso portion of Texas. And people from all of those congregations will be here. So that's very exciting for us to be asked to host that event.
Ordering like more mugs and t-shirts.
Yeah, all kinds are right. We're going to send them all to the Bethany store on the app.
We're going to charge them for parking.
Whether you download the app.
Yeah, download the app.
So let me ask this. If there is a question that you are convinced that 30 more people want to hear the answer to, you can ask it. Otherwise, members of the executive council and pastoral team will be up here, but we do want to be conscious of time that we share. All right, Mark. Oh, thanks. So some of you know with the campaign, we are updating the columbarium. We have plans in for it. We're waiting for reports to come back from an architectural engineer, and then we have to go through the process of Cherry Hills Village. Some of you know that's not the quickest process that's ever been developed in the world, but the first step is for the architectural engineer to sign off, and then everything kicks in from there. Yeah, but plans are in place. We've been working with a landscape architect on all of that to come together. So thank you for your, Jeff.
I was remiss in announcing who was helping out leading the council.
Oh, I can, yeah, and I didn't ask, but I've announced it other places, so she might be okay knowing that that one of the chairs of the campaign will be Stephanie Davey. She's going to be one of the people who will be working on it. We'll be adding to. We have already engaged somewhere between 20 and 25 people who are already a part of the initial stages of the campaign planning team as well. Again, we'll be up here to answer questions for a few minutes. I have a funeral at 1, so I've got about 10 minutes that we can engage. Thank you so much
Thank you, everybody.
for your time and attention today. Really appreciate it.